2019, Alex Good secured his place as the people's fullback by going on a full 4-day bender in kit after Saracens' Champions Cup triumph. ITV continued to pretend that Clive Woodward is still relevant, and Yoann Uge did this. But though ITV seem unaware that this has happened since 2003, 2019 was a year in which some rugby was played by some people, and now it's time to celebrate the best of those people and watch as Sir Clive sits flummoxed that I don't include Sir Johnny Wilkinson or at least Freddie Michalak, because today it's the turn of the best halfbacks of the year. But let's first dive into another category in the Squidge Awards and drop a spotlight on the best individual tries of 2019. And let's start things off with this absolute screamer from Super Jazz herself, Jasmine Joyce, a cult hero, and on the off chance that cult does need starting properly, I'm willing. Kenki Fukuoka, another man to start a cult for, put in a few entries. This spectacular finish against Tonga was a pretty spectacular example. His second score against Scotland was brilliant, a little pop of skill. And in the sheer wheels to storm away, this score against the USA had everything you could possibly want and easily could have taken the cake, but it was disallowed by an absolute narc of a referee. There was then another disallowed screamer from Marika Koriabiti against England, but he did likewise notch up one worth talking about against England themselves, but most notably, this try against Georgia, which was spectacular and Good just won the Wallabies the game. We also got a very special score by Spiro Nkosi against Argentina in the summer, passing more Pumas than Nike sales data. And then another special score by Nkosi later in that same game. He had a really good game, it's fair to say. I showed Sarah Byrne's incredible second score against Wales earlier this week, but I mean, look at it. It's about as good as prop tries get. Marcus Watson scored this fantastic try against Leicester in a game I still can't get used to calling a Midlands derby. Look at it, it's great. Another great try scored against Leicester, which, not that big a deal anymore, but here it is. Alex Zazowski, fantastic try. Then two late entries from the Premiership as well. One from Tom O'Flaherty about a month ago, and then a very late contender, both in the year and the game, this last-minute winner from Nizam Kar against Bristol from the weekend. We then should have an obvious winner. It should go to Cheslin Colby for his infamous try in the World Cup final. But you know what? It's not going to, because anyone can score a try from it. I mean, not anyone can score that try. It's pretty phenomenal. But, who cares? I don't want to reward pace. I want to reward skill. And more importantly, I want to reward Finn Russell. I want to reward Finn Russell for having the audacity to try a nutmeg. I want to reward Finn Russell for pulling off a nutmeg. I want to reward Finn Russell for pulling off a nutmeg and scoring under the post. This was a game with no space, no inches given. And to see someone do as mad as this and to pull it off is frankly fantastic. But I said I want to, not I am going to reward Finn Russell, because the Squidge Rugby individual try of the year goes to a young lad by the name of Chumal Chumba, playing for Dale College in South Africa back in August. This try is impressive in and of itself, but even more so once you notice the dude is a second row. This is a game with one scorer in it. This is a tight game, and a second row is scoring tries like this. It's a total rugby hipster choice, but individual try of the year goes to young Mr. Chumal Chumba. Anyway, time for the heads on the team shoulders. It's the halfbacks of the year. There was never a moment in which this was anybody else. I said before the World Cup that how far England got was almost entirely dependent on how far Owen Farrell willed them, and he blasted his team right into the final, only to be undone by a team with 15 players who managed to just about match the tenacity, desire and sheer skill level of Farrell. There are other 10s perhaps more talented than Baby Faz, but none with his sheer precision. Even almost a year on, I'm still slightly obsessed with this pass out in Dublin. It's inch perfect. It's a pass that he's perfected and repeated in games for Saracens this season. For all the talk of the smash and bash of the collective Vinopolas, it was Faz 10 LTD that was by far Nigel Ray's smartest investment. The guy keeps things under such tight control with accuracy and skill. If the salary cap breach was because their entire allotted $7 million is going just to Owen Farrell, they've cut themselves a bargain. In fact, the guy is so good they probably should have just let him do the books and they wouldn't have got caught in the first place. Owen Farrell is the closest thing we have to a perfect rugby player right now. I live outside Watford and I don't work for BT Sport, so it goes without saying that I pretty much hate Saracens like the rest of the world, and I'd never be allowed back over the Severn Bridge if I said anything stronger than this, but my god, do I, perhaps more than any other player in the world, respect Owen Farrell. Like at fly half, there was only really one logical choice for this position, only really one man who would make sense as the scrum half in this team. The absolute heartbeat of the side who won the World Cup, and owner of a glorious main debut. Faf de Klerk absolutely should be the scrum half in this team, but he isn't, because like the man I've selected himself, I don't care about common sense when there's something more interesting to be done. And that's why, in a field flooded with tactical geniuses and Gareth Davis, I've gone with the last bastion of making it up as you go along, Anton Dupont. In a world of Kubricks, of players planning and thinking through every inch of the field and beat of their heart, Dupont is an improv comedian. Just because his game isn't as set to an outstanding game plan as much as de Klerk, Smith, Murray, Perinara, Laidlaw, Nagari or Davis, doesn't mean Dupont isn't still the smartest scrum half in the room. His decision making on the fly is outstanding. He's the kind of player you just let improvise because it's going to be a lot smarter and more fun than anything you could actually write. He got a French team with inconsistent cohesion, scoring tries, attacking, running, while still himself doing the nuts and bolts game control. When I bill him as something different to the current scrum half mould, that doesn't mean he isn't able to also fit it, just that he can dance in and out and keep everyone on their toes. This was a breakthrough year for Anton Dupont, and give it 4 years and he may well be the heartbeat, the one logical choice in the home team gunning to take the title off Faf de Klerk South Africa. Other contenders, let's go. Let's start now with Faf de Klerk. Hard to argue, always excellent, brilliant, great World Cup, probably the best scrum half. He's the best scrum half in the world. Herschel Yankees, amazing breakthrough year. Little live wire play, he's excellent. And a third South African scrum half, Cobus Reinach, he was absolutely incredible for Northampton in the Premiership and took his hat-trick in Canada very, very, very well. 2 Kiwis, Aaron Smith, putting some great performances that even he wouldn't want deleted. And TJ Perinara cemented his place as one of the best all-round rugby players on the planet, never mind scrum halves. France did have an endless number of top-class nines, but particular mention to Pauline Bourdon, who is very special and was throughout the year, as was one Mr. John Cooney, who, since signing for Ulster as a very hungry for game time caterpillar, has emerged from his John Cooney as a beautiful, beautiful winged ruined Pienaar. Seriously, I don't know what it is about that Ulster 9 shirt, but if you give someone a run of games in it, they seem to instantly transform into an infallible game winner. Someone who will snatch it right at the end time and time again, and someone we'll hopefully see more of in the green shirt later this year. One man, however, who didn't fear those green shirts, Utaka Nagare, has a face like the world's oldest 12-year-old, that he played with both the wisdom and energy you'd expect from that combination, really getting Japan ticking. Another man who looks like a child, but a still young one at that, George Horne, had a pretty brilliant breakthrough year, including a test hat-trick of his very own. And then, speaking of boys, we get to the boy himself. Noche Bonhomme, a second year in a row, Santiago Arata, the once and future king of South American scrum halves. Arata's brilliantly taken try inspired the incredible win over Fiji for Uruguay, and he maintained that pace and control over the entire World Cup. He was also well complimented by my personal hero, beautiful nerd, Felipe Baseji, a rugby fanatic and fly half phenomenon for Uruguay. Andre Pollard also very much deserves a mention for really steering the Titanic in front of him around the pitch and smashing goals over from anywhere. His opposite number in that World Cup final with George Ford followed up a mixed year of a brilliant World Cup, organising and creating with every touch, and reaching the final as maybe the best performing out half in the competition. And his female counterpart, Katie Daly-McLean, was also typically excellent for England all year. She's so good it's almost boring to point out, but even 12 years into her international career, Daly-McLean is creative, controlling, and a joy to watch. She's about as complete a fly-half as you'll find anywhere in the world. Wales' rotating axis of Anscombe and Biggar swapping on the hour was extremely deadly effective in the Six Nations and could have been huge at the World Cup had Anscombe managed to remain not crocked. Utamura directed the Japanese attack with excellent efficiency, especially in the PNC, but was also behind some pretty key moments in the World Cup. And of course, we can't get through this without talking, at least briefly, about one former stonemason by the name of Finley Russell, who managed to produce some wonderful, beautiful match it for us all to eat up for both Scotland and Racing 92.
Hey up lads, how are you doing? Hope you're well, hope you're good, hope you're having a good day. Thank you for watching that. This is the video. This video, you know, you can see some analysis here. You pass the ball like that. It's good having a beak here because I'm still a penguin. Not quite sure what's going on with that one, but you know, it's alright. I want to say a very quick hello to Mr. David Perkinson. Hope you're good. Hope you're having a great day. I know it'd probably be more if I wasn't a penguin, but I hope you appreciate it, you and your partner, having a great day. Also want to say a very happy birthday to one Mr. Ken Owens, who is his birthday today. He's a top lad. Also to my human form brother, but I don't really care about him, so mostly Ken Owens. Yeah, hope you're good. We're back for the back row tomorrow. There'll be the next one. There'll be less passes like this, but you know, lots of rugby, lots of great rugby. Might be a human by then. Don't really know what's going on. Don't really know what's happening. But I'm definitely a penguin right now. It is quite difficult to type, but you know, I'm just about getting away with it. I'm just about managing it. I did most of the writing before this. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. And I hope I'm not a penguin then. I might just never explain this. Cool. See you then. Bye.